Hello, this is Nitin Dahad with the Times. I'm here at CES 2025 in Las Vegas. I'm speaking to Vikram Gupta, who's responsible for IoT processors and a lot more at Synaptics. Vikram, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, what's your exact title?
So I'm the Chief Product Officer. I'm also the SVP and GM of the IoT Processor Division at Synaptics. So, yeah.
Now, I mean, we spoke before, maybe in 2024 in the summer, and you explained to me some of the stuff you're doing in Edge AI. But since then, and you alluded to this, I think, in our conversation last time, but you couldn't tell me, but you've got this big announcement with Google.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, so we're collaborating with Google on taking their OpenML core and incorporating it into our Edge AI processors that are part of the Astra line. That's the stuff that I talked to you about. And what we are doing is we are actually adding some modifications to the core to make it run better in our SoCs. And the whole point of this is that what we are planning to do is introducing a line of Edge AI processors that are focused on being multimodal, being very power efficient, with the right AI source, at the right cost point to service a whole number of different applications in the IoT space.
When you say multimodal, what do you mean by that?
So, what I mean is like reacting to audio, vision, and then doing something intelligent with it, sensing your environment essentially across multiple sensory inputs.
Yeah, and that's core of Synaptics' value proposition, isn't it? Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct.
So, I mean, what more can you tell us about the arrangement with Google? I mean, is it something that they're going to jointly market with you, or is this something that you're bringing on?
Yeah. So look, I mean, I think first of all, I'm pretty happy with the collaboration because I think I think it's needed for the Edge AI space to actually start coalescing around standards.
Okay.
Right. And I think this could be a good way for the industry to start moving in that direction.
Yeah.
As far as Synaptics is concerned, we have the right kind of technical chops for actually, incorporating like some of this stuff into our silicon. And I think that resonated with Google. They were looking for a silicon partner, and we happen to be like the lead silicon partner. So we are collaborating well, and we also have a shared vision on where all of this stuff goes. In terms of open standards, based on open standards, open sourcing, all those kinds of things. So I'm really hoping that it evolves into something where an ecosystem develops, and we will be putting our muscle behind it. I expect that Google will be putting, their emphasis also.
Yeah.
But that's where it stands right now. It's still early days. I want to kind of just call that out. Yeah.
I mean, I think when we spoke beforehand, you said it's very nascent. You need to build that ecosystem.
Exactly.
But tell me now, so from a customer perspective and the customer journey, what does this mean? How can they sort of play with Synaptics?
So a couple of things. One is that the fact that we are collaborating with Google and incorporating their core with our modifications means that the AI sauce that's going into our chips is going to be pretty state of the art. And I think customers can feel comfortable when they're picking someone like a Synaptics that they are getting the latest and greatest from a technology perspective. The other part of it is the fact that because we are going to open source the tools and so forth, we're going to get the benefit of the open source community also contributing to innovations and so forth.
Right.
With this core, and our customers can actually benefit from all of this because it will really help with reducing the time to market.
Yeah.
From a development point of view, right? Because you get the benefit of all this innovation that's happening in open source.
Yeah, but I suppose getting down to, well, if I'm selecting Synaptics, then is it that I get a bit of software that I can play with already, a ready-made system with a bit of software?
I think that is sort of almost like, I would say, is par for the course.
Yeah.
We would have to provide that.
Yeah.
And I think what we are trying to do is, unlike a lot of other players in this space, we are trying to be more open about some of the tooling and some of the software, which I think, frankly, could be very disruptive, in the space. Because everybody is looking at closed systems, everybody is walling things off.
Yeah.
My own belief is that I think for edge AI to take off, there's got to be a lot of innovation that comes from the community as a whole.
Now, anybody I speak to, yeah, including many of your competitors, everybody's talking about edge AI. What gives you the edge, if you like that pun?
I think we are coming at it with a very fresh perspective. With a very, I think when we announced the whole Astra line, which is really a set of processors focused on the IoT,
Yeah.
we wanted to come up with an AI story around it that made sense.
Yeah.
And we've always been very clear that we want to be having the right kind of AI sauce, which means it's not just about TOPS, it's about running these models effectively.
Yeah.
With the right power profile and the right performance. So it's all about inferences per second
Got it.
and optimizing that subsystem in a fashion that makes sense for the embedded systems that our processors go into was always been the focus. So I think from that perspective, I think we are doing a lot of good things in terms of fine-tuning, our solutions
Right.
for the space.
Okay.
Right, and this is where I think a lot of this stuff is going to go.
Now, we're at CES, the CTA Tech Trends to Watch presentations earlier this week. They talked about, I think there was a stat, 61% of US adults are already using AI tools in their workplace. A lot of them don't know about it. So a lot of this is really stuff which is already in solutions you're using, and you don't necessarily know about it. But what are you expecting here at CES for Synaptics?
Well, I think what you'll see from us here is an evolution of our story as far as the processor piece is concerned, and what are the strides we have made, not just with the announcement, but even the maturity of the Astra line.
Yeah.
as it's evolving. We announced, if you recall, in April, and so since then we have made rapid progress. We're lighting up partners. We have got newer applications that we're demoing.
We've got the Astra Technology Showcase.
That's
over there.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I think all of this is actually just testament to the engineering prowess that we have, where there is a further evolution of what might be considered edge use cases, from an AI standpoint that are relevant. Now, I'll remind everybody that there are things which you can do as user visible features on the edge, and there are things you can do under the hood.
Which is the point of this stat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that, you'll see us continuing to push it. We've got a lot of other things which are going on. The pairing with our wireless, also your human presence detection and
Yeah,
how
you've
we're
got that
doing.
over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lot of vision models that we're using. A lot of good stuff.
So I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Okay.
What's your favorite bit of technology, either Synaptics or non-Synaptics? for edge AI stuff.
Specifically the edge AI stuff.
Well, yeah, it could be wider as well.
So I'm a big fan of the LLMs that are out there. I try to use it, just for my own productivity and things like that. But I think I like the notion of search and AI combined together.
Yeah.
Okay, that's at the personal level. From an edge AI perspective, one of the things I feel really good about is that, I keep getting asked, what are the good edge AI use cases?
Yeah.
There are obvious
There's
ones.
tons.
There's
There's
tons.
tons.
Yeah. People counting. We've got a medical box over there which can only open based on face recognition.
Yeah.
But one of my favorites is this washing machine demo that's running completely local,
Yeah.
where you can conceive of the entire manual of the washing machine actually ingrained as a model on device.
Exactly.
So you can actually talk to it.
Yeah.
Hey, how do I set up my Wi-Fi, or how do I, what kind of washing cycle should I put it through, given that I just had a whole bunch of oily food, things like that, and it's going to answer you. And the point of this is it's actually going to save support calls, right? So we have that demo working. So that to me is a very live, relevant use case.
Yeah.
That appeals to me. I would love to have something like that personally as well.
I'm hearing a lot of that at the moment, so I'm guessing we'll see that in the next 12 months in some products.
I would. You're a little bit more bullish than I am. It could happen in 12 months,
Yeah.
but I definitely think this is the way it's all going to evolve.
Okay.
So
Talking of 12 months, what's next for Synaptics in this area?
look, I
You alluded to one last time we
I
spoke.
alluded to one last time. So we are. So one of the things is, and I should mention this announcement we just made with Google. This AI sauce that we are creating right now is going to go into all of our future processors.
Yeah.
So expect us to roll out products, another set of products like middle of this year, and we're working also on a very novel architecture that was really going to push the performance power profile, and it's going to turn some heads.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll look out for that. Vikram, thank you very much.
Thanks, Nathan. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.